Hello and welcome to Rogue Traders. I'm Matt Allwright and this is my little camera. Dan is on his bike, somewhere. This week we'll be leading you through the jungle that is landscape gardening. As soon as Dan picks me up, of course, because he's very late. I think he might be lost. Tonight on Rogue Traders, garrulous gardeners and grease monkeys. Yes, we're getting our hands dirty with two of our favourite rogues. Like mechanic Debbie Morris, the fastest Morris still running on the streets of London, and boy can she run. And when the going gets turf, hardened gardener Sheamus gets his kids in with their dog. What am I doing with these gnomes? Well, all I can tell you is it's legal and they're consenting. Time to burn some Rogue Traders rubber. Yeah, hold on, here you go. Didn't feel a thing. This is the Rogue Traders garage. It's where we bring all of our cars before they go out to make sure they're in A1 mechanical health. Let's have a look. If it's greasy, we love it. From torque wrenches to tailpipes. We've also got a few cars, but we'll tell you all about them a little bit later. All we need for the mix is someone who really knows what they're talking about. Because see that? I've got no idea what that is. The decent, honest mechanic. Steve, have you seen every single trick that's under the sky?
No, not by any shot. There's always something new to learn, and I'll never fail to be amazed by some of the tricks people get up to earn a fast buck.
Well, we've got work to do.
Yep.
You know what it is?
That's it.
Well, let's go then.
Yep.
So, this is what we do. Using his expert knowledge, Steve prepares the cars to go out by either giving a clean bill of health or setting specific faults. While they're being worked on, there's a hidden camera under the bonnet, so we keep an eye on what's going on while we're not around. When the cars come back, Steve watches the footage and comments on the work that's already been done.
I wouldn't trust this dipstick with my car.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Please stick to the facts. It's first thing on a bitterly cold morning, and your engine is making some, quite frankly, obscene noises. What do you want? What do you want? Well, you want a mechanic who's going to give you a clear, concise and honest diagnosis, not one that takes you to the cleaners. Oh no. Come on. Dan eventually got his bike started, which is a good thing. But we're off to see someone who didn't have so much luck with his car. Bruce.
Morning.
What was so wrong with your car?
Had an oil leak and was spilling oil all over the floor, so took it to get it checked, basically.
Bruce Ben took his car to this garage in Lewisham, where a new engine was fitted for over £900. When you got it back, did you get your hassle-free motoring?
It started off quite well for the first couple of days, and then all the problems started to appear.
When you say all the problems, what sort of thing?
One of the oil seals popped out, again creating another major oil leak. The oil filter fell off, parts of the engine wasn't bolted in properly, the airflow was wrong, it kept stalling, cutting out, and I was forever calling the RAC, basically.
The garage concerned, Engines Gearbox Services Kent Limited, failed to fix the car or resolve the matter, and Bruce ended up selling it and losing money. A catastrophe. More of that later. South London, and a back garden in need of a big makeover. We're happy to oblige. Of course, with the gardeners that we'll be seeing, that's not necessarily a very good thing. Mitch Westwood has been in the industry for 30 years. Mitch, are there that many rogue landscape gardeners out there?
Well, the problem with landscape gardening, Matt, is it's a very, very easy industry to set yourself up in. We all, as a nation, think we have a lot of gardening knowledge, and all you need to do is go out, get yourself a wheelbarrow, a pair of Wellingtons, a few hand tools, and away you go.
As you will see, it's not quite that simple. Mitch digs himself in and we prepare the ground for some quotes. We don't want much, just the garden cleared, a patio, a flower bed and some gravel or turf in the middle. Mitch thinks the job should cost £2,750 to do properly. Question is, who's going to get the job? The gloves are off. The gardeners we're getting in only give mobile phone numbers in their adverts, so if they do a bad job, they can be very difficult to track down. Here's Kath, a cup of Welsh sugar. She's one of us. Now, Mitch says a crucial element to giving an accurate quote is accurate measurements. The first lot turn up with no tape measure. This very determined bloke uses his feet and doesn't let the mountain of rubbish get in the way. His quote, £2,500. Number 2, very good. He won't even give us a definite price until he can come back to measure up properly. Number 3, well done. He's got his tape measure with him and he quotes £3,000 for all the work.
Technically.
Number 4 doesn't seem to have much of a clue. He doesn't measure up at all. Total price, just £950. Now this last one does look very professional with that clipboard. Oh no, it's time for those size 10s again. Mitch?
I can't believe he's going to do an accurate survey with just his feet. He really ought to be using a proper tape measure.
Total price £2,200, but worth it for the footwork alone. So, out of our 5 mobile phone landscape gardeners, only 2 insist on measuring up properly, but at least this one can get the job done quickly. Meet Sheamus.
If you come and open the door, say, one morning for us at, say, 7, 8 o'clock, and we work away, we'd have it done, we can get in and out in the one day.
Sold. We plumped for Sheamus Vahorian and Oakwood Landscapes with its impressive 90-strong team. We get a written estimate on headed notepaper just in case anything goes wrong. Watch that car, Sheamus. Close one. He wants a cash deposit of £850 up front, and yes, that is how he told us he spells his name. We agree to meet him outside Maida Vale Tube Station in London for the handover. Hanging on the railings is Kath.
Okay, we're in position with the cash, but there is still no sign of Sheamus. He's a bit late.
He's an hour and a half late.
We're going to hang around a bit longer. It's all very exciting.
Now, you're going to have to get used to Sheamus's excuses.
I do apologise. So, I was on the phone, and an unmarked police car came up beside me and pulled me over just because I was driving an Irish registered van, and I'm Irish myself. What's in the van? I had empty bags in the back of the van, fertiliser bags that we use for rubbish, and there's where did they come from? And they rang Ireland and rang God knows where. What were you paying? Was it 8 something?
You told me 850 yesterday.
Yeah, that's
I don't know about you, but I never realised that having your garden done could be quite so cloak and dagger.
We hand over the cash, nevertheless.
Okay, I think it is all there. You'd have to...
I won't cancel them outside the station. Alright, I'll see you in the morning. Yeah, be there, have the gate or the door for about 8:30 the latest, because we want to start then straight away.
Okay. And you'll be on time?
Of course, yeah. We'll see you in the morning.
Right, okay. Okay, bye.
Well, it's a good job we didn't take blameless Sheamus at his word. It's 10 o'clock and there's no sign of him.
Yesterday, it was only now 2 hours.
He finally rolls up at 11 o'clock. Kath's a bit of a stickler.
It's not my fault. I was stuck in traffic. Like, I've been on the road since 4:30.
OK, first job then. Trimming those hedges. Now, Sheamus has certainly got the tools and the enthusiasm, but does Mitch think he's going about it the right way?
He's got no helmet, no visor, no chainsaw gloves, no chainsaw mitts. He's just wielding it willy-nilly. Good grief. If he doesn't cut his own head off, he's going to cut somebody else's off.
Sheamus's head remains intact, so he takes it, with his body, all the way to Swindon in Wiltshire to get our turf. It must be very special grass. In the meantime, his men clear and dig the foundations for the patio, which they fill with crushed demolition material, which is not ideal, is it, Mitch?
There is no wall yet to actually retain this material, so it's going to spread out. And the big thing that's worrying me is they're not levelling it out and compacting it, they're not squashing it down. So the consequence of that is whatever paving they lay on top is going to subside, so the paving slabs themselves are going to start to sink sooner rather than later.
Despite what Sheamus said, the boys are nowhere near finishing at the end of day one. Dan and I follow Sheamus and his team home, in case we have problems getting in touch later, but somewhere in West London we lose them. Oh well.
Steve's messing around with my Astra. Steve, what are you doing?
Just having a look to see why it's not running well. And we've got a load of yucky sludge on the dipstick. And
no.
even more yucky sludge on there.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, yes,
What-
it certainly is.
What have we got to do then?
Well, you've got to change, put a new one of these on, another cylinder head gasket,
Right.
and that should cure the problem.
Give us the keys then. I'll drive it over.
No, you don't want those because this isn't going nowhere. This is a tow it away job, I'm afraid.
Tow it away?
Oh, yes.
Dan! Yep. Keep going. Hold on, I've got the handbrake on.
We give the car to Lisa, who has it towed to that garage in Lewisham where Bruce Ben had such a bad trip. Steve reckons this should cost no more than 230 quid.
I don't know, but it's just the temperature gauge went really hot.
The man from behind the counter gets into the car and pops the bonnet, which gives us our first chance to meet Debbie. This is Debbie Morris. When we met her, she was the director of Engine Gearbox Services Kent Limited. Have a good look. You'll be seeing quite a bit of her. They start the car up. Doesn't sound too good. Then it's driven into the workshop with everyone following. Debbie, the director's, raring to go. Within seconds, the bonnet's back up, and she thinks she knows what's wrong with the car.
That was very quick. They got that right the first time. It definitely is the head gasket that's wrong with the car. Let's see what they come up with.
Late Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning. See you then. Thanks.
After we leave the garage, our bonnet camera is still running. Debbie's back, this time with a clipboard. Very official looking. But the inspection so far still hasn't gone beyond the dipstick. Two mechanics are talking and seem to find it funny they've been asked to fit another cylinder head.
Probably, yeah.
It's amazing. They've had the car in for only an hour and a half and they claim it needs a new cylinder head, and to diagnose a fault like that they would need to take the cylinder head off and have it hot pressure tested, and so far they've managed to come to that conclusion just by pulling a dipstick out and looking at it.
Meanwhile, Kath is still waiting for Sheamus. Day 2 he was rained off. Day 3 it was no show. Sheamus wasn't answering his phone and didn't return our calls. Day 4, an answer at last, but worrying news.
He's in hospital.
Oh dear. Later that day, the man himself calls from his sick bed.
Well, I have a bad back and I have to have fluid out of my spine twice and 3 times a week. And sometimes if I do more lifting than I should do, I get a trapped nerve in my back and I have to go into hospital and stay in it from anything from 1 day maybe to 4 to 5 days.
Now that sounds serious. We need a second opinion. Sheamus says he's at the Clementine Churchill in North London. We've just spoken to the Clementine Churchill Hospital, where Sheamus was supposed to come for his back treatment. They say they've never had anyone under the name Sheamus Vahorian here for treatment. And as for that rather painful sounding tapping of spinal fluid, they say they don't carry out that procedure. Naughty Sheamus, eh? It's day 5 in South London, and Sheamus is back. Sheamus is back! What a swift recovery. His dog looks concerned though, and so's Kath.
How's your back now?
I'm quite painful at the minute actually. I'm going over to I have to go over to the Clementine Churchill today for 1:30, but I'll be only in there about 20 minutes.
Shameless Sheamus. He's been rather difficult to get hold of on the phone recently, so he asks Sheamus for a number of somebody else in the office. An innocent enough request you might have thought, but it brings on one of his turns.
Well, look, what I don't want getting into an argument. If I get really annoyed, I'll just walk away. That's the way I am. And
Well, I'm asking you
I'm just sitting in the Jeep because I don't want any more headache.
Charming. We're no wiser about where Sheamus lives though. Hold on, Pooch. Come here. I knew that dog would come in handy sometime. The address on the collar, Perivale, West London. Woof! Let's get on with the gardening. They start with the turfing. It's half term and Sheamus has brought his children along. Are they part of the 90-strong team, I wonder? 10 for effort, nothing for technique. Who am I to talk though? It's off to Merristwood College in Guildford to turf with the best. Keith Harrison.
And if I do it all correctly, it could look like this.
It could.
Oh, let's hope so.
First off, turn over the soil. Then raking. Yep, good. He's got his rake out in London. Me too. After raking, you have to tread the soil to get the air in, then back to raking, then treading and raking over and over until the ground is even.
I tell you what, it's quite labour intensive, this turfing. I hope Sheamus and the boys aren't getting too tired.
Not so much Gardener's World as one man and his dog.
That's incredible, I can't believe it. The whole thing's been badly turned over anyway. And now he's trying to level it out with a sweeping brush. What's happened to his rake?
So this is our turf, cut this very morning. How long can it stay like that?
No longer than a day.
Right. And what happens if you want to keep it longer than a day?
Well, essentially what you should do is roll it out so you've got the grass, obviously, to the light.
Okay.
That's very, very important.
Got that? 1 day.
Sheamus's turf, brought all the way from Swindon, has been rolled up outside for 4 days now. For a top-notch job, mark a straight line with string, then put your planks down so you don't ruin your carefully prepared soil or turf. Then lay the turf, staggering the joins like a brick wall. Beautiful. I don't think they've been listening.
This is the tamping procedure. Makes the grass bind in with the soil. Very important. Do it very delicately. Easy does it.
Tamping a la Sheamus. We're treating our rolls of turf with kid gloves. They're treating theirs with just kids.
And the last thing you want to be doing is walking all over the turf that you've already laid.
Really?
Sheamus, shame on you.
Oh, come on.
Get off my turf. Ah, Lewisham. We have a message from the garage, so we phone back to find out what the damage is.
Hello?
Hi there. You've called my wife. I brought her in yesterday with her car.
Hello, yes, it was me.
All right, how are you?
Guilty as charged. Right, we've had a good look at your vehicle.
Yeah.
We've taken the cylinder head off.
Right.
Now, it needs another head. You know, she got a crack in it.
Oh, really?
Let's get the job sheet out for you. 660.
660. Let me have a quick chat with her and I'll call you back.
Brilliant, cheers, bye.
660 quid? We don't call back because Steve thinks the job should cost about 230 at the most, so we're not interested in going ahead. The next day, Lisa's back to collect our car.
You haven't done anything yet, though, have you?
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much ready. I spoke to your husband last night.
Oh, right, he said that. He said that you. Oh.
It's not really on going ahead with over £600 worth of work without the car owners say so.
All right, and you've done the work then. Oh.
Yeah, the head's all been taken off. The head was off yesterday. I replaced the cylinder head, new gasket, water pumps coming down, new thermostat, new timing belt.
She's come out with a great big long list of things about the water pump needed changing and this, that and the other, and there was nothing wrong with that car other than it needed another cylinder head gasket.
So that's what's cracked? That's
yeah,
the bit that's cracked?
guides down there. So basically, when you put your head gasket on...
Can you see the crack?
So you can see they've got very slight markings. If you look down the ports down there...
Right. I just thought it'd be more dramatic than that.
Hole.
She seems unconvinced about the cracks in the cylinder head, and that would be because there aren't any.
Do it for 600 quid for it.
So?
£600 all day, the job done.
She's knocked 60 quid off. Must be Christmas. Final total, £600. We can't pay with a card. Oh no, only cash. So Lisa has to go to the bank and come back the next day.
There's 600 in there.
We leave the garage with a new cylinder head fitted to our car and, crucially, the old parts in the boot. It's a heavy load, but not to worry. We're 600 quid lighter now. Sayonara, Debbie. We'll be back. We follow the car back to the garage where Steve checks all the work that Debbie claims has been done. Now there's a buzz about the place. Steve's uncovered a hornet's nest. Not literally, of course.
So what's happened here then, Steve?
Well, believe it or not, we've found that this is actually our old cylinder head given back to us again, despite the fact we was told it was unusable.
We've got the old cylinder head back, even though we've paid for a new one. How do you know that?
Before the car went away to the reconditioners, I marked the back of the cylinder head with 2 centre punch marks, and lo and behold, when you look down the back of the cylinder head, I find my 2 original marks there.
Let's have a look. Oh yeah, they're still there.
And they are.
Cheeky monkeys.
They certainly are.
Must take that up with Debbie later. But at least someone's been hard at work for us. Sheamus has brought some brickies to the house who seem prepared to work all night. Maybe they're trampling all over my new lawn because it's so dark and they can't see it. Almost done though. They're back yet again tomorrow to finish the patio. Day 6.
Can't believe it, he's just sprinkling cement on top of the sand now. It's going absolutely everywhere. It's up the fence, it's up the walls. He's not compacting it, he's not mixing it in at all. This just isn't going to be a good surface to lay paving on. The paving slabs just aren't going to adhere to this at all.
Mitch is also concerned about the levels.
He's never ever going to get a true level with that. He needs something that's nearer 3 or 4 foot long.
At last, the job's finished. Only 3.5 days behind schedule, Sheamus does the final inspection.
Is there any kind of guarantee?
There's a job number on your job, and if there's anything, you ring up the office if there's any problem. But there won't be a problem. The job has been done right. Like, I see no problem whatsoever with the job now. It just needs plenty of water, which is getting rain now, so that'll all the bits of mud, that'll all wash off. It will be one sheet of green in a matter by this day week, next Friday.
Time to hand over the money, £1,350. On top of our £850 deposit, that makes a total of £2,200. That's right, Sheamus. Keep counting. A week later.
Oh my goodness. Where do you want to start, Mitch?
How long have you got, Matt?
First of all, Mitch, take the patio. And I mean, take the patio. Good, isn't it?
That's fabulous.
That's great, because you can just pick it up if you're going on holiday. If you're moving house, you can just pick it up and take it with you.
Half the patio will travel.
Mitch, I sense there may be some unevenness here, but I'm going to check it with the spirit level, which I happen to have. Yes, I'm right.
The whole thing's appalling. It is without doubt the worst patio I've seen in my whole career.
They've also managed to mortar in the lid of a main drain. And that one sheet of green Sheamus promised?
That's not supposed to do that, is it?
No, Matt, it hasn't rooted at all. It's hardly surprising since it's been laid over the top of pieces of turf and a great big lump of concrete. It's indicative of the whole turfing job, to be honest. The people who have carried out this work really shouldn't be let loose in people's gardens.
We take some of that patio away with us. It may come in useful later. Now, Sheamus did say if we weren't happy with the job, we could go to his head office in West London, but guess what? A quick trip there told us it didn't exist. However, Debbie, the dipstick dabbler of Lewisham, is alive and well. I wondered, if I showed her my part, would she give me 600 quid back?
Now, this is the cylinder head that we were told is our cylinder head. We know it's not. It's somebody else's. So what we really ought to do is get it back to Debbie so it can be returned to its rightful owner. That's what we're going to do.
Remember, Debbie was the registered director of the company and it's her we dealt with, so she's the person to speak to. Come on, join us.
Hiya, Debbie. It's Matt Allwright here from Rogue Traders, BBC. How you doing? That's the cylinder head that you think is our cylinder head. But it's not, is it?
One look at me and she's off like a bucket of prawns at a barbie.
Debbie? Where are you going? Where are you going?
I want an answer, though. Join me for a quick tour of one of Lewisham High Street's hidden treasures.
Hello, Debbie. Debbie, I think you want to see this. Because this is like somebody else's cylinder head. It's not ours at all, because ours is still on the car, you know. We know because we hold on a second. We can still go around this way. Come on.
I don't think the charm offensive is working. Debbie isn't impressed with me or my part.
Debbie, there's a...
Where's it marked?
Hey? No.
Where's it marked?
Well, this wasn't ours in the first place.
Where's it marked?
This
Tell
wasn't
me the mark.
This is the one that you
Show
gave us.
me the mark.
Don't be like that.
Leave me alone.
Don't be like that.
Leave me alone.
In fact, Debbie's just getting into her stride.
I'm a receptionist.
But we dealt with you.
I'm a receptionist. I don't repair cars. Can you get that camera at my face?
But we dealt with you, and
No,
you told us that this was...
Then leave me alone. I've got nothing whatsoever to do with this epoxy place.
Do you think it's a epoxy place? I'll agree with you there. Is that why you changed the name of the company 3 times?
At this rate, I'm due for a 6,000-mile service, out of puff. Well, almost. Go on then, another couple of laps, if you insist. Debbie's finally run out of gas. She's fed up with running, and it would seem, fed up with running the company.
Well, what we're going to do is...
You can come in on floor.
We're going to leave your head gas, we're going to leave your cylinder head here, yeah? And you just send us back the money. Is that right, Debbie?
I'm not the boss. So I'm a receptionist. All I do is work.
I thought you were the company director.
No.
All right, hang on then.
You're not the company director, Debbie?
No, you know that because you've actually received it in the letter. Who's the company director is? I just work here. I'm a part-time receptionist. That's all I am.
Are you going to be company director next time they change the name?
No. I've got no comment. I work here, 3 hours, 4 hours a day. That's it. That's all I do.
We're going to leave the cylinder head here. And we will be asking for at least a bit of our money back for all the work that, quite frankly, didn't need doing. They're on the phone. A lot more work coming in. It could be you.
Ah, you know, it's a dirty, dirty business. Despite repeated requests, Debbie never sent us a penny for that cylinder head, and she resigned as a director of Engine Gearbox Services Kent Limited in June last year. The company's no longer trading, and a different company now occupies that site. But what about Sheamus and our £2 garden? Well, don't forget, we know where his dog lives.
Sheamus won't come to us. In fact, he's not even very keen to talk to us. So, we've got to go to him. Come on, boys.
My garden gnomes and I have just spotted Sheamus. He's coming out of his house in Perivale and getting into the car. He hasn't got much on, but his back looks much better.
Sheamus, you're not working today. You're not working today. Sheamus, we've brought our patio round for you. We brought our patio round because it wasn't laid properly. You can just pick it up and take it. You can just pick it up and take it. Well, come back. You've forgotten your shirt. You've not got a shirt on, it's freezing. Sheamus has just gone, he's not got his shirt on or anything. It's a freezing day. Hope he's not working outside. We brought the patio back there, you might want to see. Because it's a portable patio, it's a great idea. When you leave your house, you spent all that money on the garden, a lot of money, you can take the patio with you now, you see? It's a wonderful idea that I think Sheamus should really think about patenting. Listen, we realise that the rogues that we feature are in the minority. There are plenty of decent, honest tradesmen out there. If you know of one, then clasp him to your breast. Cherish him and pay him well. But if you know one of the other sort, then tell us. We'll be back later in the year. Listen, you're ready.